It's time for Power Hour.
Hello, traders. Welcome to the Friday stream. I guess I'm Mitch Rye today. It was a promised bread stream. It was like we were down here, right, somewhere after the breakout, and it was like, okay, if we break 93K, then yeah, sure, I'll be a piece of bread for a stream. No big deal. Fine. And then everything escalated really quickly, and here we are. So the bread stream's happening. I'm a man of my word, and that's it. All right, so just kind of getting that out of the way, like letting you know, like, who is this guy? Why is he a piece of bread? It was a promise. But it was like, if we were ever going to see me as a piece of bread again, there would be really favorable there would have been favorable price action. So rejoice. We are at the bakery right now. As you can see behind me, these nice pieces of bread that just got out of the oven. And Bitcoin's kind of cooking too, as well as MicroStrategy. But yeah, we spent the past market participants on Bitcoin spent the past 48 hours, the past 2 days, regarding the old support level, ask support again. Give me an audio check, make sure the audio is, the acoustics are good inside the bakery. Make sure we're good there. Let me know. Thanks. All right, so yeah, after the successful bullish back test in 6 days in a row, we'll see, right? Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positive candles in a row? We're going for 7. Now we have, little less than 5 hours to go till the close, so anything's possible. They could pull this thing back, but it would be nice to see 7 green candles in a row. We did see 6 in a row. The last time we saw this many consecutive green candles was right here, December 31st. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and after the 7th green candle in a row, we had a massive bearish golden candle for retest of the key level. So just saying, But either way, it only happened after they ran it to 99.3, which is kind of the target area above this key inflection zone. So I'm in the chat. Early stream, power hour stream. We got less than 60 minutes until the closing bell on Wall Street. And, this 4-hour candle, S&P futures saw its highest level since April 2nd. Really cool to see. Bitcoin today seeing its highest price since February 24th. We have now officially overtaken the Trump Sunday morning Trump pump and dump. We overtook it. We had not done that till earlier today, which is great. And you just think there's just not going to be too much supply until 99.3. I mean, there's not going to be a massive amount of sell orders. That's just how it works. Support resistance. So that's why I say any day above 98.2K, all your senses are enhanced. Everything in life is better. Okay. Even better when you back test key levels. So let's take a gander at Bitcoin dominance like we do to see that it has rallied a little bit today at 0.25% and nearing just outright the highest levels in over 4 years. I mean, I don't know why we're not going to see it today. You're so close. Look, highest levels still since February 23rd, 2021, over 4-year highs. So I'm sure this alert will be going off soon. Bitcoin has been outperforming, been doing pretty well today. Bitcoin's up 1.32%, Ethereum's up 1.5%, but then you got the other altcoins not up as well, the major ones. Solana's down today, almost 1%. Anyway, Bitcoin futures, remember we still have that unfilled gap. Just looking at it to keep you aware, it's just there. And it would be a nice back test if we ever got it, but they're not for now letting it. So Bitcoin futures trading at its highest level since February 21st, and there's just not much in the way until 99,500 up here. So Yeah, I don't know if this weekend they're going to pull it back to fill the gap, or if we're just going to run to 99K first before then. They will eventually fill, but they're not letting it right now. Is the dragon. Hey, I like dragons, man. I like bread dragons. Not a very relaxing sound. What's supposed to be relaxing? I'm sorry, what? Do you want me to play Skyrim Atmospheres? Would that make you feel more relaxed?
I have some evidence Manbear Pig could be in this area.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Well, I mean, to be real, I just kind of feel like, you know, today, I mean, the past week, since futures opened after Jesus's resurrection, it has only been this, chat.
Every day I'm checking price, and it's rising. Check price, good price. I have underinvested by a lot.
Wonderful. 95.2. We've looked at the futures, we'll look at the dominance. So, Maxine.
Since we started out on Bitcoin, let's go further into crypto.
Ethereum. The best performing of the megas today. Slightly. But still, unfortunately, still contained within the parameters of the downtrend, the channel, right? Anchor points, mid-December, early January, test and test and test, and you're pretty much up against it again. So it's like you could consider an asset that is at a supply line of a downtrend like this overbought. You are in overbought territory of the downtrend. I don't see anything that implies it's going to break out, but you are above 1728, and I do hold more regard to horizontal line support resistance than I do diagonal trend lines. So if they are able to break the supply line, you have an easy $1972 to $2,000 target looking left from history. It's just how it is, man. Okay, it's a big reversal point. And that's it. You have not broken out yet. Kind of insane, isn't it? It's very insane. I mean, the sheer underperformance of Ethereum is just crazy. But, you know, people are starting to think that Ethereum in the next few years will lose its number 2 spot. And something else will take over. Ethereum paired against Bitcoin. After 2 days of decent price action, you could say, it's just going to probably turn into what we saw in early March, mid-March, whatever. Look, late February, you got 2 days of green. Wow, dude, we're going to do, and you're just continuing to trend lower. There's nothing special, no edge, nothing implying this is going any higher. It's just auto selling, auto underperforming ever since proof of work became proof of stake. This is disgusting. One of the most disgusting charts you could find. Okay. So XRP down 0.75% today. They just can't break the level, man. All right, you can't make it happen. Like the neckline of the potential inverse head and shoulders, they faked it out on the 23rd, and then yesterday back tested it kind of as resistance at the highs of the day, and then today not even testing it. So Bitcoin is the story here. Bitcoin is the one. I'm sorry to say, I don't care if your feelings are hurt, but you do not have sovereign wealth funds. You do not have governments. You do not have institutions accumulating and hoarding massive amounts of XRP. It's just not going to happen. It's the same thing with Ethereum. Same thing with Solana. Same thing with BNB. It's just not a thing. Bitcoin is the asset that has the trust of the world. Okay, people trust it. That's what it takes. That's part of what makes something a store of value to a degree. So is it any wonder why Bitcoin dominance is at over 4-year highs, and it continues to climb, and nothing can stop it, it seems like? Nope. Bitcoin is the meta right now if you haven't been paying attention. What did y'all say about the audio check? I didn't even see it. We just kept going. How dumb. Good audio. Oh, okay. Audio is fine. Nice. Nice. Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. Just an early stream on a Friday. I like to do it in Power Hour if on those Fridays if there's any sort of price action. So I don't have to, like, you know, I mean, Friday night, like 8 p.m. It's kind of like in Miami. What? Like, can I go do something? Maybe. All right, so XRP, pretty disappointing today. Unable to catch any bids. BNB, it's up 0.3%, but not really moving. Yep, not much to really look at on these alts. Ethereum's the only one that's doing anything, and it still hasn't broken a supply line yet. So BNB has so much work to be done. I mean, there's just so many things. You got to make a higher high. You got to take out all these inflection points. There are unlimited ones, right? It's like 621, 638, the 200-day moving average, 661, 691. I mean, they're just all historical levels that are significant. There's just a lot of work that buyers are going to have to do to, you know, reverse the trend. It's a real good start, though, that they did put in a higher low. I'm not going to deny that or ignore it. It's very real. There is a higher low here, and it's like one low and then the second low. But on the second low, maybe they're giving us a confirmation low. Obviously, this depends on Bitcoin, but maybe not even, because Bitcoin's been outperforming, and Bitcoin's at its highest level since February. You could not say that at all about Binance Coin, right? In order for Binance Coin to be making its highest levels since February, Binance would have to appreciate in value another 8.6%. Okay, so not in the same league of performance lately. How about Ethereum again? Where is it? If you wanted to say it since February, oh my God, dude, it's like ridiculous. All right, so again, Bitcoin highest levels we've seen today since officially, what was it? February 24th. In order for Ethereum, for us to even in the same breath say that Ethereum's doing equally to what Bitcoin's doing, Ethereum right now would have to be up 36.36%, repeating, of course. That is the difference in performance from Bitcoin to Ethereum. That is why we're looking at Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's just lower highs, lower lows, always making lower lows. Yeah, if Ethereum was equally performing to Bitcoin today, it would currently be trading at $2,800, but it's at $1,798 right now. Wow. Read the room, chat. Solana down 1%. After doing what Bitcoin did. Unlike Ethereum. Highest level seen on Solana today, well, since March 3rd. So not even, as good. Remember, Bitcoin eclipsed the Trump Sunday pump and dump, okay? It eclipsed it today. Solana still very much below that pump and dump, okay? So not in the same league. Even Solana, BNB, Ethereum, XRP, all different than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the meta right now. I'm sorry. In order for us to say that, highest level since February on Solana, you would have to pretty much be up 16% from where you are right now to be performing equally to Bitcoin. Not happening. Wow. Well, hey, it's only half as bad as Ethereum. Remember, 36% disparity. Yeah, altcoins are not the one, man. It really is Bitcoin. And it's warranted. Okay, it's very warranted with this economic climate, changing of the monetary world order. But at the same time, you have Western countries that are fully adopting communist Chinese censorship, central bank digital currencies, complete and utter control of their citizens that have no guns, no way to defend themselves from these new policies that are soon to be implemented fully. So yes, Europe and other Western countries, Commonwealth, Australia, Canada, it will be mandatory. If you want to have individual sovereignty in the future in these countries, Bitcoin will be mandatory for your survival. It won't be this something that I want. No, you don't want your money seized by your government, you will have to have Bitcoin or some sort of crypto, but dude, Bitcoin, because we just looked at the performance of it compared to the other major altcoins, and Bitcoin's running circles around them. So sold paired against Ethereum. Yeah, we haven't looked at that in a minute, but it was at all-time highs when we did look at it. Yeah, see, I mean, it hasn't really gone anywhere. It's hitting kind of like an overbought threshold of this uptrend. It's a beautiful uptrend, man. I mean, just, yeah, the supply line. This is when overbought up here, oversold conditions of the uptrend, the bottom. Just like Ethereum, remember Ethereum hitting overbought up here in the downtrend? So yeah, eventually, this just might mean like, okay, in the short term, maybe Ethereum outperforms Solana for a little while for a pullback and it runs again because the trend's your friend. But yeah, this is about where historically it's been reversing. And Ethereum takes over in performance for a little while, whatever. So yeah, you got to admire the rising three methods that played out but has stalled out. I mean, that's sometimes all the performance you're going to get. I mean, a measured move of it, pretty close. Nice one, Phil. Hopefully you won't get a margarine call. Exactly. I do appreciate... God, no ad blocker. I do appreciate bread puns on days like this. Super special. So, okay, so we've looked at the major cryptos, you know, the top market cap cryptos. And, I mean, there are other assets that are up today. You'd have to pick and choose in the crypto market which ones are up. I mean, GRT's up, Bitcoin Cash is up, Caspa is continuing to rally, HBAR after recapturing that key level. All right, they back tested the spring pretty much. They broke the supply line. It's been running, highest level seen intraday since March 12th. That's not bad. ICX even up a little bit, recapturing level. But see, most of them are crap, man. They're just coming off their lowest low. They're rivaling their previous high. They're not even making higher highs yet. And even if you make a higher high, you then have to make a higher low eventually after. You know. So, stock market, let's just shift gears, okay?
Let's go, traders. We need to make this dough. This is no time to loaf. We're on a roll and need to baguette these tendies.
Crypto Ghost, thanks so much for the 1816. There is no time to loaf. That's correct. Well, I think the S&P 500 got the message, did it not? Where you intraday and officially, well, I would think like 35 minutes vol stays the same or higher, even a little lower. You'd be going for the highest daily candle close since April 2nd. It looks like we got a date with a gap fill at 564.97, which happens to be an overhead resistance. And that's what makes the most sense, right? Swing highs from July and August. Also, right, on that Friday, they closed at April 2nd, and we gapped down. So traders settled up right there. That's where the gap is. That's the target.
Ray, looking a bit toasty over there.
Eric, it was never the air conditioner. It was never my fault. It was the building's sprinkler system began to leak. And so thank God I have a good relationship with contractors, because if they didn't show up the next day, because it got so much worse, they didn't show up the next day. I mean, like the drywall would have collapsed, and I mean, my whole living room would have been ruined. I mean, I have real hardwood floors. So think about all that water and drywall just collapsing, you know, and the velocity of it falling like 25 feet from the ceiling to floor. It would have been awful. So thank God, you know. But it's all fixed now. Everything's good. Fixed, drywalled, repainted, no flood, no sprinkler system tripped like it did in Birmingham. So I'm safe. But out of pocket, though, I did have to pay out of pocket for those contractors to get there in a timely manner. And the building can't pay me back for that because my contractors aren't under their like insurance umbrella or whatever. So I just kind of got wrecked there. There's nothing you can do, you know, just kind of like, I guess, tax write-off or something. But yeah, just part of living. So yeah, man, Spider, nice day. Unfilled gaps. But now it's like, which gap's going to fill first? I mean, above 540, given enough time, you would think the next gap fill is going to be 565. It's getting propagated by Tesla's performance. Big cap, mega cap, having a rally. So maybe they are putting in a higher low. I mean, it's really tough to know, man. Like down here, this is very tough market conditions. Are you kidding me? Trump tweets, news-driven catalysts every day. You're just casinoing. You're just playing the casino. But it's cool that it's bottoming out. I mean, finding structures on individual stocks. It's kind of the name of the game. It always has been. Index funds going to be like this a lot until they're not. Until they are showing us discernible, structures and indicators and patterns. Just so much chop, man. But wonderful for Bitcoin. I mean, it has been really good. And I got to show you how good. This good. Bitcoin to the US dollar paired against the S&P 500. Okay. What'd you do? What did you do just a few days on the 22nd? On the 22nd, just days ago, 3 days ago. Bitcoin to the US dollar paired against the S&P 500 closed at its highest level ever. Yeah, you pull back, a few days, gap down. All right, whatever, but still extremely elevated and just amazing to see. Buyers recapture 1516 on this chart. I mean, that's the old all-time highs from 2021. So you just got to wonder when or if when are we going to make a fresh intraday all-time high? And that's the big question. What is it doing? This alert's really weird. Oh, wow. Doesn't let me set an alert like specifically. It's like the round numbers only. All right, whatever. Very, very strong. And then if you don't know, Bitcoin paired against the US dollar, or Bitcoin to the US dollar paired against the Nasdaq, the IXIC, all-time highs. Already did it. Like intraday, fresh all-time highs on the 22nd. Or on the 22nd, excuse me. And very elevated. I mean, just never before seen this outperformance. But again, you gotta understand, I mean, like you saw with the mega cap tech stocks beholden to the Chinese economy. Bitcoin is not beholden to the Chinese economy, Chinese exports. Right? It is a different asset, and typically it is coupled with big tech, but man, I loved to see the decoupling like we saw in March of 2023 during the regional banking crisis. It's very, very, very not inspirational, but redeeming. Feels like there's hope. And it's hope as in like, I think a lot of us here have felt this way for years about Bitcoin, what it is. This is why I always have Bitcoin's ticker above my head. I always have Bitcoin's chart above my head. It's just because we understand what Bitcoin is and the role it will play in the future. And the role it plays right now in the third world. Most of us want, you watching the stream, I'm streaming. Like we are in the first world. We do not have to worry about corrupt governments creating hyperinflation. But people in the third world are very thankful and grateful for Bitcoin. But I'm just telling you, like I was saying earlier, Bitcoin in the future will not be a choice for many Western countries that have gone, again, communist. I mean, like if you're getting arrested for tweeting an opinion criticizing the government in the UK, you are no longer in an actual democracy / free country. You're not. Two-tier justice systems already happened, and it's only going to get worse. So big prayers for everyone in the West. All right, so let's go to the Dow Jones because we looked at the spider. Dow Jones, yesterday was a pretty good candle, the bullish engulfing and recapturing 40K, and now they're trying to keep it propped up. And if you can close like this, I'd say that's a pretty big W. to close right here. You could have, I mean, it looks like we could have a nice rally, could fill some gaps above. Now there's an unfilled gap below us, right? But hey, man, if you're recapturing a key inflection point from history and it's real, like, then you just got an easy $41,200 target above you, and then above that's the gap fill at 42,200. So they could be trying to put in a higher low double bottom right now that could end up giving us a more pronounced rally. I don't think you'll make 100% retrace, but I do think some gap fills would be in order if this is actually happening.
Is that a joint?
What's up, Anonymous? Thanks for the first contribution. Oh, no, second contribution of the day, right? Yeah, second. No, third contribution of the day. Thank you, dude. Yeah, you had Crypto Ghost, Eric, Dobkin, and Anonymous. Thanks, dude. So the bullish engulfing candle is still valid, I guess. And a nice check back at 39,850. So, okay. Closing out the week pretty good. Remember that weekly piercing line reversal. Once we get done looking at the Nasdaq and the IWM, we'll just look at the weeklies real quick so you can see the candles are still active. Our Nasdaq going for a gap fill at 17,591. It is upon you, and you could be going for a higher low, right? One low, the second low. Could be. Like, I'm not acting like I know. It happened pretty abruptly. It happened pretty dramatically. It happened on tweets. There were tweets every day. The amount of gaps is insane. It's gap season. As you can see, they've broken some sort of supply line from the top. It's like an anchor point, third anchor point. You broke it. And you're just kind of running now. So, nice. Kind of, yeah. So I would just think you're targeting for gap fills if it's going to continue to run. And again, 17.6. And then if you want overhead resistance, 17.9 to 18K. With me on deck. That's going to be tough to break. I mean, all those. It's okay. Yes, the bread does drink coffee. I am drinking coffee, man. My re-ups of Irwin Coffee comes in tomorrow, so excited about that. Well, here you go. IWM, its own little respective supply line. They broke it yesterday. They're trying to back test the breakout as support today and holding up. Very nice. Anything above 188, given enough time, it's probably $200. So the swing low doesn't look as pronounced. Like, where it's pretty freaking discernible and visible on the other index funds, it's kind of not really here. You can't really see it so much. And say, like, hey, man, that's a swing low. But yeah, nice to see these index funds recover off of, man, such fearful, crazy markdowns, high VIX. The piercing line didn't catch follow through last week, but it now is. And now we are painting a bullish engulfing candle. Very nice. That is very good to see. Okay, that is... that would certainly make me feel not near as bad. Oh boy. All right, mods. It is time to come out of the woodwork and do what you gotta do, man. Okay? Big yikes. Well, what I'll do to help y'all, I'll do something real quick, okay? You just hang tight. Thanks for the over 500 people here. Oh man. Make sure. Boom, look at that. Notice how it all stops almost instantly. That's called bread magic. Get destroyed. Gonna do a little more. Oh wow. When it rains it pours. A lot of craziness going on. All right, so this is beautiful. Okay, piercing line into bullish engulfing candle. Got to feel a lot more comfortable about this recovery. 564 on deck. If this is going to catch follow through, I mean, I think the piercing line is like completely being confirmed now this week as the reversal. So this could turn into something more significant. I like it. Dow Jones. Unfortunately, follow-through candle would be a candle close on the weekly above the piercing line reversal at 40,200. So it doesn't look like you're going to get a true follow-through candle by the book, but very close. But the S&P was great. That's a great candle. This is kind of lagging behind pretty hard. Nasdaq, I think, is going to be way more in line with the spider. Looking at it, yeah. So look at that godlike bullish engulfing candle. Yep, and follow through the piercing line. So. Yeah, it looks like a big retrace. I mean, on the weekly, outside of some gaps, I mean, you just say maybe 18K, but 18,600 could be valid here. What a wonderful correction beginning to recover this week was really important. And now it's going to conclude positively. Oh, yeah, MicroStrategy is up 11%. Well, dude, it was up way more, right? I mean, MicroStrategy is way off its highs. I mean, its highs today, it was 373.23, and it's only 365 now. So people are taking, day traders taking profit. We got 22 minutes till the closing bell. IWM weekly. That's a really nice bullish engulfing candle we're getting. And if you look on the weekly, what makes the most sense here would just be a retest of $200. Oh yeah, that's it. Taking out a lot of the noise when you look at the weekly. There's chop everywhere, but that's it. Okay, 200-week moving average is right there as well. So, yep, $199, $200 on deck for IWM, and a really nice Japanese candlestick. All right, nice. But yeah, we can look at MicroStrategy real quick if you want. I don't think we've had any true formal requests. We absolutely have not. No requests today. All right. MicroStrategy, here it is. I saw the highest price since January 24th. That's even better than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's only making its highest level since February, late February. This is late January. So since that breakout, pretty smooth right up so far. Broke that neckline of the double bottom pretty effortlessly. March 25th. Even back tested it as support. That's pretty cool. And anything above 333 makes me happy because that's the old March of 2000 all-time high. So you just think like, even if it was just going to be an 88% retrace from this high to low, you still have, I think it's 383 is an 886. So despite even your most conservative anchoring of Fibonacci, 384.50, sorry, right there. But it's a 618. Oh man, I hope it's not real. I hope that we're not looking at like, look, dude, it's a 618 on B, a higher low on C, and then a 786 on D. It would be a literal perfect bearish Gartley right now. I'm just, gosh, dang it, man. Well, there you go. Maybe we're screwed. But it is completing a bearish Gartley. I hope it's invalid. I hope it doesn't stop. I hope we don't react in reverse, right? But I'm just saying, 618. Higher low, 786. You got to be kidding me, man. I really hope that's not it. Wow. Either way, hopefully it pulls back. You know, you pivot. Maybe you retest the level of support later, and then we fill a gap. Unfill gaps down here. Yeah, gap today, you gapped up. So these gaps probably going to fill the coming week. But let's look at the weekly. Hander Pants, that's fantastic, man. Well, keep up the good work, dude, and stay inspired. Make sure there's plenty of firewood to fuel the stokes of your passion furnace. Okay, here it is, going for the highest weekly candle close since mid-January, January 13th. What a doozy. After they confirmed a bottom. What was so interesting about MicroStrategy is it bottomed out after losing 100% of its gains from the election. that was the bottom. That was the support. That was the gap fill they used and decided was going to be support. As you can see right here, they came down and officially filled the gap from November 5th. Trump got elected the next day. Look, right there. I'll just show you. The gap itself was the bottom. Crazy stuff, man. How they do it that way. But it is good to see Bitcoin 95.2. Still got a green 4-hour candle, maybe barely. It's up $1,185, 1.26%. Not bad, man. How's Coin doing? Coinbase, remember? Perhaps you've heard of Coinbase. All right. Saw its highest price since March 7th. It wasn't really a discernible edge or anything great down here. There might have been divergence. Yeah, there was some bullish divergence, but I mean, again, like buying just off of bullish divergence at key supports can play out like this.
My portfolio's on a real yeast mode rally.
Real yeast mode, baby. Keep it up, Atticus. Thank you for the 5 super chat. Much love, dude. Yeah, I mean, bullish divergence at supports. And then you had a bullish engulfing candle. Really nice. So, like, you had some variables that kind of lined up right there. Because, you know, below 150 is death. I mean, it's straight up death, technically speaking, right? Below that level, nothing in the world makes sense until 114. That's how it goes sometimes. As the buyers come in, they battle, and the buyers win. Trump tweets, and market recovers. And, I mean, taking out that peak, we are seeing a higher level than that March 25th high. March 7th. So, just imagine what we could see here. I mean, this is an overhead resistance. It's not a joke, man. It's just as equally important as 150. 212, right. Look at the resistance, reversal, support before rallying. Look, resistance, reversal, support. This is such a it's more important than 150. There are more historical touches and tests here than we saw at 150. So you think it's just like, oh, we're good, man. Now you're up against resistance. And you pull back here, you fill a gap. There's an unfilled gap at 175. But if they did that, how magnificent could it become? We get an inverse head and shoulders of some sort. We finally get a higher low that would indicate momentum is shifting into the hands of the buyers. Because our most recent event is the lower low, the lowest low. You want indication of accumulation. You want a higher low. You just hadn't seen one. When was the last time we saw a higher low on Coinbase? You had to go back to October 31st, or early November. Been a while, man. But yeah, probably supply line here. That you're so far off. I mean, don't they could keep this going? I mean, the 200-day moving average, just good luck, man. There's so much work to be done. Just on anchor point 1 and 2 and 3 here with a fake out right there on earnings. Earnings fake out. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a little bit like Ethereum, where man, just whoa, it was just a channel. Yeah, you got yourself a channel, kind of. They really did. So even if you kind of try to mess around with it, yeah, there you go. There's your channel. Worse than Ethereum, because if this was Ethereum's chart, it would be up against the supply line of the downtrend. Gosh. What's happening, Joseph? Are you okay, man? Are you okay? We're just trying to have a little fun here, man. Okay. Sometimes I'm a piece of bread. It's actually very rarely I'm a piece of bread. I made a promise. If we saw prices above 93K, I'd be a piece of bread for a stream. And here we are. We're above 93K. And in fact, we're not just above it. We formally regarded it as support 2 times. And now you've seen a rally off of that. See multi-month highs now. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, there's just not much here. It's kind of surprising that we're just kind of stalling out here when, I mean, there's just never really been times in history where when they defend this level of support, we don't go to 99.3. So I'm just kind of like, what are you waiting on? Like, what's the stalling? Just it's kind of coupled up with futures, the equity markets. Most alts are bleeding now. Well, I mean, this is not the altcoin meta, dude. Most altcoins, like I would say 98% of altcoins, there wasn't even anything interesting about them to begin with. Yeah, then about like 2%, you could look here and there and find a couple that are like, hey, that's kind of interesting. That's like a little different than literally everything else. Yeah, it's not so synced up with the collective, the S-Coin Beanie Baby collective. Shoot, dude, like big time was actually like on the weekly. Like, are you kidding me? That's pretty good. Yeah, a lot of alts are up today. So, anyway, let's look at gold. Remember gold? Remember when it was like all-time highs? And then what happened? Well, you know, what we consider a dark cloud cover / shooting star Japanese candlestick reversal immediately caught follow through on a gap down, and then they rallied the price of gold to just fill the gap perfectly, and they sold it off and closed on April 23rd at the lowest level since the 15th. And then you had a good day yesterday, but today you're covering the previous candle's body, which you're getting real close, 1 hour 12 minutes till it's confirmed. I mean, for bearish engulfing candle again, this is a lot of work the buyers have been putting in the past 72 hours to recapture or rival previous highs, and they're just not able to do it. So there's not really an exhaustion argument. There's no like bearish divergence up here. I guess on the RSI you could say that this would be pretty much, this would be considered class C bearish divergence. Make class C bearish divergence like a pink, you know, like bright red for class A, then kind of magenta for class B, then a pink for class C. Because we don't see class C. Class C divergence is pretty rare, actually. Where, you know, with class C divergence, when you make a high on price, substantially higher high on price. Oh, I'm sorry, wait. Class C is your weakest form of bearish divergence. Okay, and you don't see it often, so I don't really, and it also does not imply the same thing that class B and class A implies. Class A and B is impending reversal of the downsides, and then class C is just stagnation and relative strength. Okay. Yeah, class C divergence, very real here. On the RSI, it's just bullish convergence on the MACD histogram. So, yeah, that's right. We're going to get to the Mag 7s. If you give me a minute, just getting through a few of these. Silva had a pullback down 1.62%. There hasn't been an edge. It's kind of been V-shaped recovering. Could be just going for a type 2 return of this bearish shark pattern that, man, it reversed perfectly. But anything above 3250, you're in really good shape. And if you hold physical silver, you look at the monthly and you laugh and you say, I don't give a crap about what's going on silver on the daily. I'm just looking at the monthly here, and it looks like a phenomenal uptrend. And it's just, we're so close to a mega breakout. I mean, if buyers can ever capture prices above 34.52, which they haven't done, they have not. I mean, we haven't had true prices on silver above 34.50 since September of 2011. Okay, and that month it broke down below it, and then it was just regarded as resistance from October of 2011 all the way to October 2012, a whole year of testing 34.50 as resistance before nuking lower. So that is just, it's everything on this chart. Breaking that for real, I think it's an easy, smooth ride at like $43. So just up against a big level on the monthly. What a recovery off the lows though. Silver this month from the lowest point to where it is right now. And what a 16.14% rally off the lows. Man, that's a pretty large market cap asset, rivaling Bitcoin's market cap size. Yeah, we have less than 5 days until your monthly candle closes everywhere, and it looks real good on Bitcoin, man. I mean, I'm telling you, this Bitcoin monthly, forget the daily, forget the weekly, look at this monthly. And it just, price action like we are receiving this month makes you remember where we are, what structure we broke out of, right? Cut with Hendelman, but it's like impeccable museum NFT couple with handle, unironic, properly identified couple with handle, not a joke. And so, I mean, less than 6 days, until your bullish engulfing candle, 6 days until your third highest monthly candle close ever. But if you go up any more in the next 5 days, you're pretty much going to be making your second highest monthly candle close ever. We need to see in the next 5 days a candle close above 96,600. Mark that one down. So we would need a little bit higher, but like where we are above 93K with momentum on the buyer side, not the seller side right now, you would think that's very possible. Going into the weekend, I'm not sure what kind of weekend price action we're going to get, but if you're in a very illiquid zone on a weekend where things are even more illiquid, I cannot be surprised if we run to see 99.3 soon. Just because history, man, it's not an opinion, it's just historical price action between levels. How's that weekly? Weekly is fine. It doesn't really look like that crazy. I mean, we had a bullish engulfing candle about 3 weeks ago. Follow through candle last week. Now we're really going off the follow through candle, which is like major TA respect. How's Ethereum's monthly? Dude, Ethereum's monthly, like they're defending a really key level, like no doubt. Defending the key level, it's the daily candle close from 2018. That's what they defended at the lows of the month. It's just ridiculous, right? Hey, dude, I bought Ethereum at the peak of the 2008 bubble, and I've just held it for all these years. How many days? Hey, bro, I bought Ethereum 2,647 days ago. Well, at one point this month, you had made $0 in all that time. But Ethereum has recovered off its lows of the month by a substantial amount, by 30%. That's pretty good. And it's really cool to see that, 1728 here. That's not a joke, man. Like I'm telling you, 1728 on Ethereum's like monthly, daily, weekly. It's extremely real. So to close above that, I would consider not like a capital W, but maybe a lowercase W. Okay, a win, a small win for Ethereum. But it's kind of pathetic. I mean, we have 5 days. This could change and we could flip positive, which would be great. But it's just testament to the meta of the market right now, where Ethereum is legitimately, if it closed right now, I'd be saying to you, lowest monthly candle close confirmed since September of 2023. A lower close. Traders settling up lower this month than they did last month and the month before. And we're looking at Bitcoin bullish engulfing, massive engulfing. I mean, you're talking Bitcoin's candle this month is up $12,739. A completely different universe of performance. You wouldn't even think they're in the same market if you were looking at these charts. And Ethereum's your second largest market cap crypto in the world. That's a testament to all of this, to where we are. Bitcoin is the one. You would be delusional to think otherwise at this point, or you just don't care about performance and technicals and where we are. All right, you just wouldn't care. So this looks like whole wheat. I mean, it kind of looks like white bread. White bread's a joke, though. There's no nutritional value in it. So I've never been into white bread. I don't eat white bread ever. I'm not a bread person really at all. I haven't been for a very long time. But when I did eat bread, really, sandwiches back in the day, even when I was a kid, it was just wheat. We were a wheat bread household. Nova Sparks correct. Yeah, opportunity cost, bankruptcy. Opportunity cost, bankruptcy. We got 4 minutes, 20 seconds.
Is that a joint?
Till your 4-hour candle close on Bitcoin. You are closing in on your highest 4-hour candle close of this entire recovery, going for your highest 4-hour candle close since February 23rd. It's been pretty just methodical, slow going barbecue type price action. Yeah, that daily though, you just think, how can it happen? How can they do this? Like, you know, I was thinking in the back of my mind, like, man, is that like a green hanging man or something? And it's like, nope, it's not. Before I could even think about it. Yeah, wonderful. You just gotta know, like, when in history are we not going to 99K above this level with a test? It's like almost certain you're going there. So I'm just like, let's get it over with. Let's do it in a couple days. They're taking their time. That's for sure. Yeah, let's look at Tesla, man. My God. Tesla killing it, dude. Almost on with 10%. Broke this supply line. Unreal. Unreal. The supply line that goes back to the all-time high. And that was in December, January, late January. That supply line broken. And I guess, you know, confirmation lows getting put in, and there's so much work to be done. You know, which sucks about, you can't really get excited about a supply line breaking because there's so much overhead resistance looking left just on the breakout. So you also have the 200-day simple moving average that was just rejected late March, but then it's just like 300, 313. Just look left and see there's just a crap load of support, right? Big reversal areas. If they fail, you're doomed. So, but it seems like with this price action, you're gonna at least be testing all of this soon, maybe probably next week. I don't know if you'll break it, but I'm rooting for it, man. I would definitely like Tesla to break these levels. That's gonna help all the index funds rally. So yeah, it was real sketch down here, man. A lot, like, there was distribution rejecting 200, and then it's just earnings report was it was bad. They had a top to bottom miss. It was real bad. It doesn't matter though. It was like it must have been priced in, and now we have more earnings on deck, right? More coming. Next week's gonna be huge. I think most of the Mag 7s will be reporting. Nothing in the world like Tesla on the Mag 7. What up, Chicken Biscuit, man? Can we get some hype in the chat for Chicken Biscuit? $5 super chat. Thank you, man. Beautiful, dude. We got a breakout of a supply line that goes back to December. Elon will be pleased. All right. Second top gainer will be Nvidia. Nice to see this recovery. Yeah, after a spring back test, it's just, you don't know, but you don't know if it's going to actually play out. But all you can do is understand the levels and what it represents, and they violated that key level, then they reconfirmed its validity as support, and now you're catching some follow through. What have you done today? A little short-term Jesus chime. An official gap fill from April 15th. There are more unfilled gaps. There's another unfilled gap at 120. You got overhead resistance at 118, or not overhead, but just you do have some sort of SR, support resistance. There.
Can we look at Casper? Thank you.
Yeah, Chicken Biscuit. That thing been blowing up since Target 1. Absolutely. Yeah, so we got a higher low. We got a spring back test. You got to wonder if that was it. And you got, I mean, what kind of rally could we get? A common retrace. Well, you're at a 38% retrace. So you're at the golden zone. You've already done that once. You're doing it twice. You might break it. So 50% retrace aligned with 118, 618's 127, right where that 200 moving average is. And then if we start doing deeper retraces, like start making crab patterns, 140, 145. All right, there it is, chat. There it is. The highest 4-hour candle close confirmed on Bitcoin officially since right here, February 24th. So technically 2-month highs. That is not the case for XRP, Ethereum, Solana, BNB, none of them. Just Bitcoin. Weird. And you are kind of in no man's land here based on historical price action. You're in no man's land. There's just nothing here till 91.5 to 93K or 99.3. It could randomly reverse for no reason. Of course, it could just dump. But, I mean, there's just not much till your next level. We've been discussing this. So great to see Nvidia do its thing. The markets on Wall Street have closed with a huge sigh of relief. Bullish engulfing candle, caught zero follow through. And I would say this isn't really follow through either. But a 94.18 weekly candle high close from March of last year, pretty much being reconfirmed as support on the weekly lows. So no real, oscillators aren't doing anything. I guess the only thing that's redeeming about the RSI on Nvidia would be getting out of the bearish control zone, rejecting it utterly. How'd Meta close? You had a piercing line reversal. It was real bad last week. Imagine thinking there is a framework or a way to actually play this. There is no way to play this, chat. You're being deceived. You're being lied to. This is not trading. That is straight up 1 month of effing crazy casino. Flipping coins, rolling dice, rolling balls, okay? Pulling slot machine levers. Wow. Okay, that being said, nice that the buyers recaptured an extremely important level, 531. And if the casino ends and you catch follow through after this recapturing, which we don't know, $600 target. That's it. Nice development, at least for now. We have earnings next week on Meta, April 30th. So that's going to be the date of Wednesday. Well, the date of April 30th, but the day of next Wednesday. Google already reported earnings, right? Massive bullish engulfing candle. They're doing a massive share buyback again. And I think you're in really good shape to see another bullish engulfing candle and a recapturing of 160 on the close. That's wonderful. Unfilled gap target 174 if this is actually going to catch follow through. These are some powerful green candles right here after doing what? I mean, you want to talk about spring back test. How about you check? We know on the daily, right? Been monitoring it, but the weekly, it's perfect, right? They violated the 146, old all-time high right here. It's not my opinion, chat. I don't make these levels. The market makers do. I just plot them. The old all-time high right there, September 2021. Was violated a couple weeks ago. They recaptured it, and then this week at the lowest lows, they reconfirmed its validity when it was once resistance. It is now confirmed support again. After it was confirmed support, look at the powerful price action that came in from the buyers. That's pretty good. That's good stuff. That's what you want to see if you're on the bull side, on the buyer side. You want this. Great news above 160. All right. Amazon, a very, very good candle. All right, very good. Like, here's the thing though, you're kind of controversial on the close. It looks like they actually did close. Yeah, they did. They closed above by like less than $1. Let's say 25 cents. Buyers recaptured the old 2021 all-time highs. And at the same time of doing that, technically they did it. You did bullish engulfing. That's pretty good. You got earnings next week. What day? May 1st. So that is going to be on Friday, Thursday. It's the 30th into the 1st. So very interesting price action here on Amazon. Could be overdue for a retrace. And it may be a dead cat balance. It could be just a 618 retrace and it rolls over later. But that's a good start. And that could very much soothe a lot of tensions. I mean, that makes me feel better. Okay, a candle like this. So, Microsoft didn't cover the previous candle, but you certainly pierced through the previous candle's body. Yeah, 98%. And they recaptured 388. So, you got a couple really big deal technical events occurring on these Mag 7s on the weekly. I mean, you see 388. It's not my opinion, right? It's just there. Swing lows. Recaptured, confirmed on the close. I mean, think about this casino, 5 weeks of a casino, but let's hope the casino's concluding right here, and we're going to run now and maybe run up to go test 430. But yeah, after what? Doing what? After at the lowest lows, Microsoft saw its lowest price since November 2021. Pretty much pulled, well, what all these other ones did, most of the other ones. Apple was your weakest performer. But man, you know, piercing line behavior. Earnings next week. What day? Thursday. Apple will be reporting. So 6 days from now. Anything above 196 to $200 makes me happy. I'm good on that. The 200-week moving average was tested at the lows for the first time since December 2018. Remember, that was when Bitcoin was at $3,500. Yeah, great candles across the Mag 7s. Gotta love it, man. All right. Been live now over an hour. If you're enjoying the stream, please hit the like button, the bell, the sub. I know, man, people are turned off because I'm a piece of bread, but it's like sometimes we just do this once every really, really blue moon. Okay, Bitcoin still got 2 days and 4 hours till its weekly close, and you were going for your highest weekly close since February 17th. Man, any higher though, if you get much higher, I mean, you could be going for amongst some of your top candles ever. Chicken Biscuit wants Casper. That's the only request of the day. Man, you tell the economy's wrecked, dude. Let's go to Casper. First off, though, before we go to Casper, let's go to Total. Total, still up against that 200 simple moving average. Still up against that overhead resistance from 2021. If you remember, it's the old all-time high, still
Orange,
trading
me,
below
eat,
it.
Orange, give me, eat, orange, give me, eat, orange, give me, eat, orange, give me you.
Thank you for the orange bananas, or no, orange orangutans. Thank you, dude. So at rate 3 trillion would be really nice. We haven't even tested it yet. We're struggling, but remember, this is weighing down. I mean, this Bitcoin's getting weighed down. This chart's getting weighed down by the entire altcoin market. Because if you think about it, where's Bitcoin from its all-time high to its lowest low of this drawdown, which was 74.4? Bitcoin has officially, as of today, I'm going to show you real quick. That's some Jesus chime stuff. Look, from the high to the low, using our Fibonacci anchoring, we've officially hit at the highs of the day the 61%, 61.8% retrace, the golden retrace, 95.9, and it's perfect. And we've right here, and you've only pulled back since then. So, interesting, a Fibonacci, a major Fibonacci retracement level, where it's not really a big deal looking left, but we understand that is the top of the golden zone. Anytime an asset finds a bottom and begins to retrace, having a major retrace from its high to its low of that correction, this is the common retrace zone between a 38% and 61.8% retrace. So we have hit the top threshold of the golden zone. So thought there wasn't much controversy, but maybe there's a little bit. Interesting. Pay attention to that. So if we are at a 61.8% retrace on Bitcoin as of today, how are we doing on Total? Total's all-time high. Well, shoot, man, its all-time high was in December, not actually January. I guess we used the same anchor points just for the sake of comparability. The highest from that same Bitcoin high to low, not even a 50% retrace. That's what I'm saying. This whole chart's being weighed down by every altcoin. Because if this was Bitcoin, Bitcoin would be right here. So total market cap underperforming Fibonacci-wise Bitcoin by about 8.2%. Aha. Yes, majorly underperforming by about a Fibonacci, 1.5 Fibonacci nodes. Is that bullish or bearish? Well, I literally, Alex, just gave you like a breakdown of Fibonacci and the common retrace zone, and that said this is the top threshold of the golden zone. So typically it's not the most bullish thing in the world. This is like, a lot of times you catch reactions at 618s. It's a magic number. It doesn't. 618s though are reactionary, but they're not typically your ultimate bottoms or tops. Your ultimate bottoms or tops are normally the 786s, 886s. But yes, along the way, you do react to the 618, and you can get some decent pullbacks. But you pivot, and you rally, and you test it again, then you eventually break it, and then you run to those deeper retraces, 7, 8, 886s. So. Anyway, chat, y'all pretty dead, man. So, well, I fulfilled my obligation to you. I kept my word. Did the bread stream. Figured there'd be more hype for Bitcoin being in its highest level since February, 2-month highs, but it's going to take a lot more than these rallies. People don't trust the markets yet, so maybe we get to 100K, people will come back. Yeah, so Wall Street's closed. Futures got another hour till they officially close until Sunday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern. But hey, the futures after close, we're pretty much at the highs. We are at the highs. Almost, I don't know, like you're rallying at the highest point of this 4-hour candle on futures. Again, 47 minutes till it closes. But man, so after hours, some of these stocks are still rallying. Pretty cool. Hello, Crypto Hammer. What's up, TA Zibit? Yeah, everyone's just loafing around. Robbie, thanks for being here over all these years, man. I appreciate you watching, and I really do hope that if you do watch this stream, I know some people watch it for entertainment, but I really do try the hardest I possibly can to educate and elevate your life to the best of my ability in this like field, right? Technicals. So I try to make it education centric. I try not to waste too much time. Like I try not to waste any time, really, you know? I mean, I'm pretty straight up charts, most like 90% of the stream, right? Maybe 10% isn't full on chart analysis, but yeah, I don't know. I've been doing this over 7 years now, man. Time flies like crazy. All right. It's been great. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for the likes, love, support, contributions, everything. Hit that like button, that bell, that sub on the way out. Be sure to join the Discord if you haven't. You get notified when I go live personally by me. YouTube will fail to notify you. So thanks again. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Till next time. Respect the TA.